Good morning, beautiful people. How are you today? Here in France, we're in the deepest part of the winter, and for the last week, the snow has been falling from the sky and covering this world in a beautiful blanket of white. I've got to the stage where I think that everything is a message, whether it's a metaphoric message or a message to our hearts. And now as I look out on this winter wonderland, as the sun rises in the distance, there's an incredible peace about the world. Snow has this incredible ability to bring silence to noise, to bring stillness
That is cold.
to the world. And it seems no matter where it falls, whether it's in a forest full of trees, whether it's on a mountain, whether it's on the inner city, snow has this incredible ability to make everything look more beautiful, to make everything be more beautiful. It's like a divine shower upon our planet. And granted, I don't think we'd want snow all the time. But what it does to children is it transforms them into these bundles of happiness. It's like the greatest gift they could ever ask for. The smiles in our house as we looked out the window in the morning were just so wide, so beautiful, so happy. And it was hard not to look out the window and smile, because as the snow falls, it's a dance from the gods. And just to know that every single snowflake that falls is different, has a different formation, is completely unique, almost makes snow something of a miracle. And I'm not just talking about snow now. I'm talking about you. How unique you are. How special you are. That individual gift that you bring to our planet. And while with a snowflake it's fleeting, perhaps the lifespan of a snowflake is less than 2 hours as it falls from the sky. Maybe it goes on to last a few weeks. But we're here on this planet for many years. And while these years do pass by very fast, we have a really great opportunity to let our light shine. It's not about being famous. It's not about that kind of Western obsession with success. Success is perhaps the word which is the most misunderstood. Because success, from the point of view of someone in the Western world, is doing well at school, is looking good to other people, is earning lots of money, driving fast cars and living in big houses, and if you're really successful, getting on television, becoming a face that everybody knows. And yet success through the eyes of spirit is very different, very different. Because it's not about the number of followers you've got on social media. It's not about the number of friends you can claim to have. It's about stepping into your destiny. It's about living the life and finding the path that you're meant to find. That might mean only having one friend in the world, and it might be a dog. That might mean just helping everyone who comes into your path when they come into your path. It doesn't have to be every day. It's not sitting by someone for their entire life and looking after them until they die. But it might be that. Because everyone's path, everyone's destiny, everyone's snowflake is different. It could be as simple as, if you live in nature, looking after the animals that come past, whether it's feeding the bird feeder, putting the right flowers in your garden so the bees can feed. And ultimately, success is being yourself. Really listening to your heart in those moments when you can feel perhaps you've been triggered by someone else, when someone pushes you or if someone upsets you. Not pretending that everything's okay when it's not. It's not about being a hero. It's not about showing strength. It's about having the courage to almost do the opposite. To be honest, to step into your truth. Right now the world's a bit of a crazy place. Poor old Great Britain is taking a real battering, and the US is going through tough times. The world is almost standing still again in some places. And yet, if you're in Australia or New Zealand, it's almost as if the virus is some faraway nightmare. You're probably thinking, I don't really fancy coming over to the UK or to Europe or to the US in the next few weeks or months. All seems a bit mad. But when you step into your heart, when you just look through the eyes of the heart, it's all absolutely fine. We've become obsessed by the importance of being alive, I think, in this world. Of course, our health is important and we want to live out our dreams and step into our destiny. But for many people right now, this is a time when we're moving into a transition, whether that's them moving to another place, to another dimension, the end of their lives, or whether that's that they've taken the decision before they came to this planet to embrace the Aquarian age of stillness, as this world shifts from being a land of hierarchy to being a place where it's much more a level playing field, where we start to look into other people's eyes and say, I see what they're thinking, I see why they're doing that, because you're looking at them with compassion rather than judgment. But with all the opinions flying around right now, the media in overdrive about the virus, perhaps some stories not being told exactly as they're truly happening, it's just a time to really ground ourselves, to connect with Pachamama. If it's not too cold where you are, to put your feet on the ground, without shoes, without socks, and just connect. Send a silver thread down to the very core of planet Earth and really ground yourself. Breathe deeply. Just connect with nature. Feel her beauty and her love. She'll hold space for us in our hours of need. And we have to remember as well that we're not walking this walk all by ourselves. There's always someone looking out for us. We're not alone on this journey. It can often feel like we are alone, like we're struggling in those hours of need, or when something bad happens or something that we find has upset us. Just remember that you're not alone, that you're loved, that you're being held by a much greater force, and that every single little thing that happened to us has happened for a reason. And it's good to try and work out what that reason is, but not with our serpent mind, which will then try and point fingers or find the negative in the positive. Every message, even if it feels like it's not so positive, deep down, probably beneath the very obvious messages that come up, is probably a treasure trove, a gift, something which you can learn from and something which you can then turn into a positive. I'm sure for some people the snow is a burden. It slows them down, it's dangerous, it's slippy sometimes, it can turn to ice. It's cold. I know there's some of you out there who hate the cold, who chase the sun and look for that eternal summer. And that's fine. But the true messages of life come in every form. There's a reason that the earth has its seasons. The summer brings us warmth, heat, lets us sit outside. Yeah, there's nothing better than that sunset in the warmth when you're on holiday, with the sun on your back. Love that. But when the autumn comes, I don't think the colours get more beautiful than when you walk through a forest. The golds, the yellows, the reds, the browns, beautiful. And then the winter, well, that's the time when we can rest, or we can come up with our ideas to change our world. And I wouldn't take winter away from my children, having seen their face in the last few days. Every time they woke up, every time they grabbed a carrot to build a snowman and put his nose on. And the spring, where the opportunities start, the blossom begins, and the beautiful flowers start to push through. Magnificent. Every season has its own beauty. But please don't forget just how unique you are. Just how special you are. Just how important you are to spirit. Don't forget your beauty. Try not to engage all the craziness of the world right now. Just watch it by taking a step back, taking a deep breath. And of course, we're not smiling at people dying. There's nothing funny about that. But sometimes when you watch the way the media portray everything, it's absolutely bonkers. And I speak as someone who trained as a journalist. So try and take it with a pinch of salt when they try and find a story which is better than the story on the other channels or in the other newspapers or on the other websites. Because usually there's an agenda there, or they're at least trying to show that they've got the bigger story. And unfortunately, that means that sometimes everything sounds a little bit more mental than it really is. Stay safe. Keep taking your vitamin D, your vitamin C, your zinc, and all the other things that's going to equip your body just in case you get the virus. And keep meditating. Keep going to that space which makes you happy. Whether that's deep breathing with Wim Hof, whether that's meditating with Mary, or doing whatever it is that takes you to that place of pure relaxation. I love you all. Thank you for listening. Yours in love and peace, Peter. Namaste.